Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Behind the Gear here on that Range Lifer channel, sometimes about golf. Today, we're going to get into a fun one. We're going to talk about the brand TearDrop putters and their history and their return with some new updated designs. So let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Bill Bush from DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on all of your favorite social media platforms. As usual in our videos, do me a favor before we get started here. You're already down there. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. It helps us out a lot. Hit subscribe, then hit the bell so you get notified every time we post a video here on that channel. We really appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to tell a friend. All right? Anywho, here's what we're here to talk about today. I recently stumbled upon a classic teardrop putter in my thrifting adventures, and I don't know if everybody knows about these, but there's a certain point in '90s golf history where kids like me, who are watching the golf infomercials when they woke up in the summer, and then con their mom into taking them over to play 9 holes or hit some buckets of balls. I don't know, but I remember teardrop putter infomercials big time. And while at the time they seemed super gimmicky, and they still sort of do, they were ahead of their time, and a lot of the things they were doing ended up showing up in I'd say a little more well focused designs moving forward. But a little background on the brand: they were founded in 1992 by a guy named Fred Hockman, not sure how to pronounce it, but out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, and they were just making putters. And it was a unique design. You can kind of see it here. I'll put some pictures in, but it was this patented rolled face that was very unique compared to the competition. No one had it. Trying to think off the top of my head in early '90s, but you weren't seeing too many putters with any sort of face groove, or uh, I think you were just starting to see some fly milling by way of early Bettinardi's and Scotty Cameron Mizuno's showing up. But there's a lot of flat face putters. Someone could maybe leave a comment. Let me know when we started seeing uh, urethane inserts, but I don't think there were too many in the early '90s. So this rolled face design was unique and interesting, and the whole point was to avoid bouncing and skidding, and to get a truer roll no matter really how you strike the ball, on an upward stroke, downward stroke. Just get a nice true roll off the face. That bouncing and skidding, especially at the time in not quite early 1900s greens, but not the like glassy as they are today, and tight where that ball is always going to roll true. Those flat lightweight putters were really getting a bouncy putt, and this was designed to prevent that. So there's actually pretty good reception for these around the tour by amateurs, and they were gaining a lot of momentum, and but they sort of hit a ceiling or a limit. And what was going to come next? And there's a guy named Rudy Slucker, who is a retired successful businessman. Somewhere around the mid '90s, he makes this purchase, and they rebranded to Teardrop Golf instead of Teardrop Putters to diversify the portfolio a little bit and be able to venture out into other pieces of equipment. Um, Once rebranding to Teardrop Golf, the company went public and pumped a ton of money into advertising, getting endorsements out on tour. The very classic mid '90s infomercials that I referenced earlier start popping up, and I got the nostalgia I have for the mid to late '90s golf infomercials: the Adams Titleist, the Orlamar Tri-Metal, Carbide putters. I can't remember what it's called, but there's that diamond face wedge for extra friction when more bite on the ball. They were the best. I mean, I would record these things so I could just watch them at any time of day. I was addicted. Anyway, Teardrop had them. This is when they were making those infomercials. And they introduced a wedge line at the same time this was all happening, and they're signing all these pros to endorse, and really cranking into it. Like, you see brands do things similar to this now. They would have the Teardrop Putt of the Week on Golf Channel, and it'd be a weekly showcase that featured the best putts from all the golf tours, brought to you by TearDrop. So the name is getting out there in front of golf enthusiasts, and there's a little bit of success coming with them. So they're getting some wins, the sales are increasing, everything's trending the right way, but debt was going up. And so as they keep acquiring debt, they keep growing the company. Um, they actually grew even more by acquisition. So it's late 90s, early late 90s, so that late mid 90s, however you want to look at it. They bought Armor Golf for, I think, about $25 million from what I researched. And then they purchased um, another classic putter company, well, another classic brand, Ram Golf, fellow Illinoisans. That's where they started from, Melrose Park, who are makers of the Zebra putter, right? Wildly successful. And that one saw a ton of tour success too. One a Masters, maybe two, but had enough of a following. So they bought that company for like 10 million bucks. So now they have a little bit of a portfolio behind them in Teardrop Golf in the business. And they were ready to go. Well, 1999 into 2000, sales in golf were not, and equipment especially, were not keeping up. The industry, the industry was not going at the projection Teardrop thought it was going to, and ultimately over time, things weren't going well. And then 9/11 hit in 2001, and a lot of things changed, and it really sort of was the end of things for Teardrop Golf, and even those other brands really went into a lull, weren't getting much attention. Fast forward, here on this channel, we've talked about them. You start seeing Ram and Zebra pop up. You start seeing other classic names like McGregor and Hogan irons, or Ben Hogan Golf making a return. And um, part of that, I guess, that IP is that the same parent brand who bought Ram and the Ram Zebra name and made Zebra putters brought back the name Teardrop. They had the rights to it, and Teardrop putters came back with new designs. So the whole point with this new Teardrop putter was like, look, these guys had an interesting concept, had a lot of buzz, and a lot of people remember the name, and a lot of those people are still spending a good amount of money on golf gear today. So they revived the name with a little more of a contemporary design. So they're inspired by their innovative history, but they like to say that's where the similarities end. They're not going to make, I think, the same just go mistakes they may have made in the past. Make stuff, I think, a little less daring maybe than the original putter. And so that's where you have one of three designs here, the TD1 blade. I'll talk about the technology and design concepts behind it. They also have a TD5 mallet, which is sort of like a D-shaped mallet, very traditional and classic. And the more modern shape, and maybe I can get some pictures of those two and drop them in here too, but a more modern mallet in the TD7. All of them have this interesting leading edge top line to help with your alignment, and this one the blade has a flange line, so it makes lining the ball up a little bit easier. It gives you a good visual behind the ball and squaring up to your target. They also have this grooved friction face for a better roll. Okay, so going from their original design where it was really rounded and looking to have more roll and less pop and skidding, they're doing a similar thing here with grooves. And now that more and more putter companies have used grooves, they figured out that technology. These are featuring them as well. And then you have the radial roll face design. So there's still a little bit of roll on this face. It's not allegedly, and told it looks like it's there, but it's not perfectly flat. All right, so there is something behind it. They're not the only putter brand out there doing this right now, but there is something behind a little bit of a roll on your putter face. Not too much, but it keeps it consistent so you don't have to be. So it makes it a little more forgiving so you aren't going down on the ball, you aren't hitting up on it. You get a pretty true strike every single time. So they're obviously, if you look at the two of them, they're very different looking putters. One is to me this original Teardrop putter here just screams 1997, 1998, somewhere in there. But I've putt with this on the green because that era is my era, and the curiosity. There's no way I wasn't going to, and it's a good putter. It does the job well. It's just different, right? The new Teardrop Blade TD1 plumber's neck putter, pretty straightforward, traditional shape. It's a little easier for me to putt with. It looks better to my eye. Nice black finish. Um, I think it's a better putter. It is fun to have a little bit of the element of the history in the name, but let's be honest, it is a big departure and probably for the best. But taking this out the time I did, I really enjoyed putting with it. They also do super stroke grips on them. So that's nice, getting a real good premium grip instead of some sort of just flimsy stock made for thing. Nice real deal super stroke that feels great. Big fan. 299.99. They're not cheap. These are real deal putters. They're they're good. So if you're into that nostalgia, or you're just looking for a different blade putter to catch your eye and give a shot, or a couple of interesting mallets, I mean, I can vouch for them. They're pretty good. They're nice stuff. But it's interesting to see this brand back. I will be curious to see who gets into these and what the feedback tends to be across the golf industry. And maybe we will get some more classic traditional takes on the original teardrop designs and shapes, because I am a sucker for them, and this putter will continue to see some fun use out of me. It's a good time. All right, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this peek into a little bit of golf history and teardrop. And if you didn't know, now you know they're back. Leave a comment below of your experience with teardrop. Maybe you played the wedges, maybe you played the putters, maybe you just like the infomercials like I did. Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell, do all those things. You can go follow me over at Range Heroes, or go to driverangeheroes.com and read my stuff. Don't forget to stop by and tell a friend. Again, we really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun doing this for you guys, and see you next time.